It's the Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. New Yorker.
I have to start over. Here we go.
You made a mistake like your RJ?
Yep. All right.
Do this shit.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back. Back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New Yorker. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Everybody, welcome to the New York Knicks podcast, episode 603? Two or three?
Something like that. Something like that. But
something around Josh Hart's shooting percentage.
yes. We've been off for a week or so. A lot has happened. The Knicks now have two Harts, and I think I'm in love.
So Hartenstein is now going to be iHeart.
iHeart, like he was invented by Apple, and then the original Hart, who just does everything. And he's goddamn awesome. So Jay, I gotta say, what was your? I mean, I guess that was the big change to the Knicks is they now have Josh Hart. What was your reaction to the trade?
It was a wave of emotions because first I'm like, oh, they got Josh Hart. That's awesome. And then I saw it was a first round pick, and I'm like, okay, they have plenty of protected picks. So that's fine. And I found out it was the Knicks pick, and I got mad for a second.
I got mad for an entire day.
Yeah, you were way more mad than me. But then
I hate before we even go into actually seeing him play. I really I think I have just PTSD from the Knicks moving so many picks over the years. Mm-hmm. It drives me insane. And I really think to build a team, you need your draft picks. So if you're gonna move a pick, you have to really you got to be very thoughtful about it and really be like, this is the right move because it can screw you so badly. And when I found it was the Knicks draft pick, I was like, this is absurd. It's a very, very deep draft. You have the Dallas pick. You might want your own pick also because you can get some legitimately good players where the Knicks are going to pick.
Yeah. So I was pretty annoyed about that. But then I was thinking, if Josh Hart works out, this Knicks pick might be around like 20. And it won't be as big of a deal.
It's still a pretty good pick.
I'm still annoyed. I just feel like Rose is scared to draft high in the draft.
Yeah. Well, this has nothing to do with drafting high in the draft, though.
I mean, when I say high, I mean like 20 or above. Like, he just seems like if it's below 20, he's fine. But if it's above 20, he like kind of panics.
I don't know. He seems to have a bit of a disinterest in... I know he's drafted some players. He does not seem fully committed to building this team through the draft, which kind of irks me. They've had 3 years in a row of doing some funky stuff in the draft. Year one, they punted on like the 32nd pick in the draft. I don't know what they traded for a second round pick from a couple of years from now. 2 years ago, they traded the 19th pick and they ended up turning into Cam Reddish, really. That was a weird move. Last year, not even taking anyone. This past year, not even taking anyone in the draft. It's frustrating. My immediate reaction also was Josh Hart is not signed for next season. It's a player option. So I thought, wow, we just traded a draft pick for a rental to get mildly better for this season and only this season. It didn't make a lot of sense to me.
But then you found out that the Knicks have his bird rights and he wants to play in New York and he's good friends with Brunson and he's CAA, and that changed.
Yes, I found out that through the New York Knicks mafia, yes, he will be here. This will be a complete failure if he's not here next year, but it looks like he will most likely be here next year.
And he's played one game so far for the Knicks, and he fit in. He looked like he's been there for 5 years, so it worked out.
He looked amazing. He looked goddamn amazing. He is everything you'd want from a role player on this team.
Yeah. And it's game 2 right now due to scheduling conflicts. We had to record during a game, but
Jay wasn't nice enough to record during Valentine's Day. I told my wife like Jay was going to be my Valentine, but Jay was not nice enough to tell his wife that I was going to be his Valentine. It's fucked up, Jay.
So, yeah.
Unrequited love going on here.
It is halftime, and he's already 5 for 8 with 12 points. We should probably talk about the elephant in the room.
Come on, hang on. Let's talk a little more Josh Hart, the positivity, before you get to your rant about this guy you hate. But by the way, I've come full circle now. I am totally down with this trade. I'm totally fine with him giving up the draft pick. Hart looked, I mean, not to overreact, but he looked awesome in game 1. I feel like, how much did you watch Hart play before this?
I've only seen maybe like one other game. I follow him in fantasy. He's been like on my radar, even though I didn't get to draft him. But Portland isn't on a lot, and so it's hard for me to. Pelicans aren't on a lot. Any team he's been on has not been on TV a lot.
I remember. So he was on the Pelicans when Zion was there, right? I mean, when he first got there, right?
Yeah.
So I remember there was a preseason game. It was going to be Zion. It was the Knicks. I think it was the Knicks versus Pelicans. It was going to be the first time seeing Zion play in a preseason game. Mm-hmm. And so I was pretty excited to watch this. And I remember watching that game being like, this guy Josh Hart looks really good. Mm-hmm. And just from there, I've always like kind of followed Josh Hart, but I watch most of the Knicks anyway. I don't get a chance to really watch a lot of Josh Hart. I know he put up he puts up decent numbers. Like he seems like a solid bench player, but I've never seen the hustle and like how he actually plays the game, or I at least haven't. I mean, I guess I see him when he plays the Knicks a little bit, but not a huge sample size. I was watching him very closely the first game. I freaking loved what I saw.
Yeah. I mean, incredible rebounder for a shooting guard.
Incredible rebound.
He's averaging 7 rebounds a game. Last year he averaged 8.2. This year on Portland he was averaging 8.2 for a shooting guard. That's ridiculous.
Well, you tweeted during game 1, the first game, that it's just like that it's a huge talent upgrade. And it really, so McBride fell out of the rotation. I mean, we'll see if Tibbs goes 10-man rotation at all and plays McBride. But right now, you've replaced McBride with Josh Hart. You replaced McBride basically with McBride, who's a limited 10-minute a night player who plays some nice defense, with a guy that gives you a ton, basically, from the rebounding, the hustle, the steals, great passing. Hit a couple threes, both the first game, and I think he hit 1 or 2 threes tonight. You basically, now the Knicks have 7 guys who Tibbs can really rely on. If you include I guess Hart in that. And when Mitch comes back, you'll have maybe 8 guys that Tibbs can really believe in.
8, huh?
Oh, okay, hang on, please hold off on this RJ crap for a second.
You're gonna count?
Can you just hold off on the RJ? Jay wants to spend the entire episode saying how we.
I don't, but like
you really, Jay has become such a RJ hater.
You can't.
I think it's ridiculous. But can we hold off for a moment on RJ?
Yes, but you can't say that's like a guy we can depend on.
Okay, calm the F down. Okay, so Hart. What did the Knicks need? If you're talking about what the things that the Knicks needed, they needed, first of all, better shooting. Right, they're a terrible shooting team.
Yeah, so Hart shoots ridiculously good from 2.
50% from the field.
He only has 34% career average from 3, but the only season he shot a lot of threes was last season, and he shot 37%. So he is capable of being a good three-point shooter.
At the very least, he's a better three-point shooter than McBride, who shot, I think, 12% from 3 or something ridiculously low. And McBride has hit a couple recently, but you got a guy who can actually hit some threes from the bench, can bring some scoring. The bench needed scoring. Also, if you're going to be a bad shooting team, you really need rebounding, and huge addition of rebounding with Hart. Also, how many plays do you see a team late in the game where a team misses a shot, long rebound, the other team gets the long rebound, they shoot again, they get the long rebound. We get killed sometimes on rebounding. Josh Hart's going to make a huge difference, especially late in the game on rebounding.
Absolutely.
And he's I think they asked him like what kind of player he is. And he made some comment about how he's a dog, which I thought was just awesome. He's just a guy that's going to like hustle, give his all. It's also kind of thing like he plays hard defense. he hustles, like he just plays really hard, which is the kind of thing that's going to rub off on other players.
He's a Tibbs player.
Yeah. So I feel like people were giving so much crap about the idea of, oh, we don't really need to, like, we shouldn't be getting players that fit Tibbs. We want Tibbs fired, and we can't get players that are Tibbs type players. Is there any player that's more of a Tibbs type player than Hart?
But what is a Tibbs type player? A guy who plays defense and tries really hard.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yes, that's why some guys have trouble getting the rotation here, because you have to play really tough defense and you have to really like give all and have a high basketball IQ.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like Tibbs type players.
Is it crazy that people are screaming for minutes for Toppin? Toppin still can't get more than like 10 or 11 minutes, but Hart gets here and he immediately gets more minutes than Toppin. Twice as many minutes as Toppin.
Well, he's twice as good as Toppin.
I think it might be more than twice as good.
He's a good player. I mean, he should probably be starting. He was starting.
I think he had the highest plus minus on Portland before the trade. Tibbs wanted him last year. Tibbs is very excited to get him. It's also not a situation where like Cam Reddish, like, I don't know Tibbs will play him. Tibbs like, no, Cam Reddish, I didn't know if the guy was really a basketball player. Hart, I'm going to play because he's the kind of guy I want to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, Hart's proven. He's started a few years. Even his first 3 years, he started about 20 games a season. So like, he's a borderline starter.
But yeah, I agree. So as far as should we get players that are Tibbs type players, if that means guys are going to play really hard and play really great defense, sure, sign me up. Get as many as you can.
Get a whole team of that.
So I know you want to deal with the elephant in the room, the guy that you'd like to replace. So let's talk more about Obi Toppin.
I mean, what is there to say? He's down to like 7 minutes a game.
By the way, since last show, the Knicks beat the Magic. They lost kind of a little bit of a heartbreaker to the 76ers, and they beat the Jazz. The 76ers, why wouldn't Hart have played in the 76er game?
I don't know, maybe getting up to speed.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know if you're going to be able to get up to speed with our offense. Yeah, sure, coach, where's the playbook? ISO. Where's the playbook? That is the playbook. Can you write down the word ISO?
Yeah,
that's the entire playbook.
I already had to pass physicals and stuff.
But I think he already passed the physicals.
I don't know.
They reported he had already passed the physicals prior to the game. I guess they maybe wanted to give him maybe the idea is you just got here, you can watch the team play for one game, and then you'll jump in.
Seems to work. He seemed to fit in when he did play. What, you're pissed he didn't play against Philly?
Well, I'd like to have won that game. That's all. But
yeah.
I mean, the Knicks looked awesome for 3 quarters. Mm-hmm. They looked great, and they completely fell apart in the fourth quarter. And for the first 3 quarters, everything was working. And by the way, Randall and Brunson have been freaking awesome lately.
Yeah.
But then it just fell apart in the fourth quarter because that's just how it.
Wow.
I mean, the Knicks are 2-2 against Philly this year, which is a pretty good record against one of the better teams in the league. So.
Yeah, and they got reinforcements now, so maybe that won't happen in the future. You have options now. You got the starting lineup, and then you got Hart and Quickly. So, you have 7 options for the fourth quarter now.
Yeah, I mean, also, Grimes has not been playing as great lately. He's been missing some shots. Quickly's looked really good. RJ, of course, has been very mediocre. But, yeah, you have options. In the Jazz game, RJ finished the game and played well towards the end of the game.
Right. He did. He had a very good fourth quarter, but he sucked for the first 3. So I get he staged a comeback, but maybe they wouldn't have needed that comeback.
Okay, so here's the thing on RJ.
Yeah.
Did you know he's 22 years old?
Oh, okay. Well, all is forgiven then.
I don't think you knew that, Jay. Do you know? I mean, he's 22. I mean, there's no player ever been this young in the NBA. Now, I'm going to defend RJ. So last year, you would have been saying the same crap about Randall, right?
Yeah, we were pretty open about it.
Yeah, we killed. You can go back and listen. Please do go back and listen. We crushed Randall, and Randall looks night and day different. He's playing great. Is there a chance RJ can grow and become? He doesn't become Randall, become a very useful player.
There's a chance, but Randall had a good season the year before. And,
RJ shot 40% from the three 2 years ago.
Mhm.
RJ used to play solid defense like 2 years ago.
To me,
I'm going to put RJ in a McLaren and go 80 miles per hour and get him back to like 2 years ago.
I've watched a lot of basketball, and it's very rare that a guy regresses in year 4 when he wasn't like great to begin with and ends up being a really good player.
It's a lot of pressure on RJ. People have kind of like, he got here thinking he had to be the king of New York.
Why? Just because everyone on Twitter called him the king of New York?
Yeah, exactly. And he got picked number 3, and he's been groomed his whole life to be like this star basketball player. I get the idea that like he thought he had to carry a lot of weight for the Knicks. And it's tough, basically, adjusting to the NBA game. He only played 1 year in college. I don't think it's crazy to say he can become a better player. I think partly last year he started thinking like, well, I've got to score 20 points a game. This has to be. So like last year at the end of the season, he did everything to score 20 points a game and sacrificed efficiency. So maybe off the offseason, he was like, well, I got to work and make sure I average 20 points a game. I got to work on my efficiency. He has the stomach flu virus thing or whatever happened with his stomach. He had a rough part of the year. I think he's maybe for whatever reason has become a little too obsessed with getting 20 points a game. And he also put on some muscle, which slowed him down a little bit. But he's been kind of too focused on scoring above everything else. And I'm hoping he's the kind of guy that can learn from watching maybe a guy like Hart, watching Brunson, watching Randall, and go on this offseason, work on his game, and get his game in better. Just everything they say about RJ is he really works hard. And assuming that's true, he can figure out how to make his game better for what the Knicks do.
And how many years in a row are we going to do this?
I was thinking at least he's 30, because then we could be like, he's 30. So, like, he's so young. He's, like, early 30s.
He's just entering his prime.
He's 22. He is still pretty goddamn young. I mean, by the way, are the Knicks going to do this every year where they sign a guy to a $100 million contract and immediately want to get rid of him? Or at least the fans?
No, I mean, next year they'll do it to Hart, and it'll be worth it.
Hart will not gain $100 million. That would be kind of ridiculous.
But they're going to have to pay him.
You know, they're going to be over the cap no matter what, and they have the bird rights. So it's Dolan's money. So, like, go crazy. Pay him, pay IQ. If we're going to be over the cap anyway, just pay them. But RJ's a top. So we've already signed him anyway. So we have him for 4 more years. I don't know. What do you think? Like, he's got to go? What's your thought on him?
I would move him to the bench, and I would lower his minutes to like 20.
So I don't know how important it is to really move him to the bench. Also, that will it'd be one of those things. Also, you have to deal with the person that it's going to be like, it's going to hurt his ego a lot. You move him to the bench, and not that we have to worry about hurt egos, but currently he plays to the 5 or 6 minute mark, comes back in with the bench anyway. IQ's been playing a lot of time with the starters anyway. I don't know if you necessarily need to. I don't know necessarily if you need to move RJ to the bench. You just need to play him more at the bench. I mean, they're doing that anyway. I don't see an issue with RJ playing. You know, I heard there's another Knicks podcast who was making a big point after the Philly game that Randall and Brunson, we need to split their minutes up more. We have to make sure one of them's always on the floor, and we need to play them apart more because we need one of them on the. Basically, we need one of them on the floor more or less at all times. And part of it comes down to it because RJ's playing so poorly, we need to split up Brunson and Randall. And because Philly also kind of does a lot of splitting up of Embiid and Harden to make sure they're on the floor. One of them's on the floor at all times.
Right.
What do you think of that?
I mean, it's. I don't know. I feel like you need more than one threat on the court at the same time, because if you split them up, it's too easy to double team each one.
I agree with that. I also think Randall's playing really well right now, and one of the things that's probably helping him is having Brunson out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he had a
because if you
bad
don't
year
have
last
Brunson
year.
out there, then you might have Point Randall again. We definitely don't want to see that.
Yeah. I don't want to mess with Randall. I mean, Randall's playing really well. I don't really want to mess with Randall and what's making him play well. Like you can put some give. I mean, Randall can be fine with IQ out there also, but I still like having him and Brunson together as much as possible. I just think it helps. I think it helps Randall, and you're getting such Randall's playing so well. Why would you want to mess with how well Randall's playing?
Yeah. I mean,
You really,
the whole thing with staggering is it's a lot easier if you have a third guy that can score a lot, which is supposed to be what RJ is.
yeah. They were hoping with the bench unit, RJ could really take over because it would just be him on he would be the focal point of the offense.
And I know he's
Though
scoring 20 points a game, but he's taking almost 17 shots a game to do it. That's not good.
He's not the most efficient, obviously. He's not having the most amazing year. By the way, as far
Most
as-
NBA players can score 20 points on 17 shots a game.
So as far as they pointed out on the telecast tonight, there was a stat that Brunson, through his first 27 games, he was shooting 31% from three, and through his last 27 games, he's shooting 47% from three.
That's insane.
That is insane. He's been Brunson. By the way, it is such a. I keep saying by the way, such a. Wow, how do you feel about the fact that Brunson didn't make the All-Star team?
I think he still will. There's like 2 open spots now.
Well, they said I think Jaylen Brown may or may not go. So if he does not go, then maybe Brunson would get that spot.
Yeah.
Though I kind of like 2 things. I like him playing with a chip on his shoulder. Since he didn't get selected, he's been kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it'd be nice if this is the last All-Star game he doesn't make.
Yeah. I'm hoping he gets in. It'd be cool to have a 2 All-Star team. And I think with Hart now that I would be shocked if they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they don't make the playoffs. I also think Hart kind of solves a little some of the issues with the bench. I mean, it obviously solves the issues with the bench, but I think it also makes it easier just to keep playing Randall with Brunson because then you could have Hart out there with Barrett, and the bench looks a lot better.
Hart has great chemistry with Brunson, though. They played together in college.
Yeah, I mean they're going to mix it up a little bit. Brunson comes out, IQ comes in, and then Brunson comes back a little bit with the bench unit. Tibbs needs to mix it up a little bit with the lineup.
He is. I mean, as soon as they got Hart, Barrett's minutes went down. He's still playing a lot, but he's playing 5 to 6 minutes less a game.
Yeah, I think Hart also solves like you're complaining about everyone's minutes. Now you have another guy can take on a bunch of minutes. So like the only guys like last game, Brunson and Randall each played 39 minutes, which is a little bit high, but everyone else's minutes were very reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like realistically, if you could add a solid backup for Randall that could really reduce his minutes, or Obi can play like everyone thinks he's supposed to play. One of those 2 things could happen. Then Randall could play a few less minutes also.
Yeah.
But I don't know, this Knicks team. Think about where it was a few years ago. All the crap I want to give Leon Rose, like this team looks. This is the best the team has looked as far as like a solid core since we started doing the program.
Yeah. So during the trade deadline, there was a rumor that the Knicks made an offer for Zach LaVine, and it
didn't happen though.
Well, that's not where I'm going, but
Okay.
it was similar to the offer for Donovan Mitchell, and we both held our breath for about an hour, hoping that trade did not go through, which would have been, I think, a disaster based on his injury history. But that makes me think that Leon Rose's plan is to make one more big move, and then that is the team.
Okay, that doesn't seem crazy if
Right.
it's someone better than Zach LaVine,
Right,
who's
because
less injured.
if you add a star to this team now and you don't lose too many of the rotation pieces, it's a legit team.
Okay, here's a name I'm going to throw out at you. What do you think? Because I think this is a guy that may not want to extend his rookie deal. LaMelo. What do you think of LaMelo Ball? And to be fair, there's not been a lot of controversy around LaMelo. He's been playing really well in Charlotte.
He's injured
What do
a
you think
lot,
of-
though, right?
He's injured a lot. He's been injured a lot. But I mean,
Honestly,
I don't know enough about his
wanna-
injuries, so I don't know if it's something that he's going to be injured all the time or just had some bad luck.
Yeah,
I mean, in fairness, Steph Curry was injured a lot when he first came into the league.
true.
LaMelo played, so year 1, he played 51 games. Year 2, he played 75 games, which is most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And year 3, he's played 31 of like 58 games now. So he's missed a bunch of games. His numbers look great. This is not, by the way, this is not like taking Brunson's job. This is someone that's going to play with Brunson.
Right. I mean, he's an inefficient shooter and not a great defender. He's a really good passer. He's a pretty good rebounder.
I don't know. I don't watch him enough. I know he's supposed to not be a good defender. His efficiency probably would look better on a better team. He's a solid 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he's a good 3-point shooter.
I mean, he shoots 10.5 threes a game also, which seems like probably does not have to shoot that many threes. That might be a little much. It's a very bad team he's on right now.
It's on a bad team, so the defense is probably focusing on him. So there is that too.
I mean, is this a guy that you would like? I'm just trying to think of guys that might realistically be available. And he's a guy like Devin Booker I was hoping for. Clearly, he's not going to be available anytime soon. I have some hope that Kyrie does what Kyrie does and Doncic will be available soon. But assuming he's not, you got anyone for me? Like who else? I think LaMelo is realistic to be available at the very least.
Well, I did find it funny that Mikal Bridges got to Brooklyn and they asked him what he thinks about playing in New York, and he said, "I love playing at MSG." So maybe there's a chance.
I think he's already signed though. Like they'd have to trade for
do
him.
contracts even matter anymore?
I know, but they kind of do because the Knicks have to trade like 4 draft picks to get him. I mean, would you trade? I mean, I like Bridges. I wanted him in the draft. Knicks should have just drafted him instead of Kevin Knox. But Kevin Knox was just so good against him in that 1-on-3 drill. I mean, would you trade like a lot of first-round picks to get Mikal Bridges? I don't think the Nets are going to trade him anyway, but
I don't think that's what they need at this point, right?
I mean, every team needs a Mikal Bridges, a 3-and-D that plays like top of the league defense.
No, but I mean, like if this is your all-in, push the chips to the middle move, like is that the final piece that's going to get you over the top? Because the Knicks have one move left, and then they're in cap hell, and they'll have not enough draft picks. So like they have one big move to make.
Well, he's better than OG. Everyone wanted to get OG, who's injured a lot and not as good a player as Mikal Bridges.
Yes.
But again, he's not going to be available. So I don't think this is like a worthwhile discussion. You have to think of a guy that's actually I mean, who knows? But I know Mikal said I like playing in MSG, and they're like, yeah, you're not playing in MSG. But who else will be available?
Minnesota's probably a few losses away from blowing it up. So Towns.
They're not trading Edwards. Doesn't matter.
No.
They're not trading Edwards. I don't want Towns. So Minnesota's. Oh, we don't need to discuss Minnesota.
Yeah. I don't want Towns either. Sacramento's going to keep everybody. They got a good thing going.
It's not so obvious who the next guy would be.
Yeah.
You're not going to trade. So I don't think it makes sense to trade for Dame anyway, but Dame's not leaving Portland. That's just not happening. Mm-hmm. You don't really want to trade for Beal. That would be kind of a nightmare. His contract's ridiculous, and he's injured all the time, and I don't think Beal will be the guy you want.
I think Beal, the wheels finally fell off for him.
I mean, when he's on the court, he's not bad. It's just that like he's injured a lot. He's also just another undersized player to have on the team.
Do you want Harden when he does his annual, I want to leave this team?
No.
No,
Shockingly, I don't want a guy that will try to burn down your franchise.
Neither do I. There's already rumors that he's willing to go back to Houston.
It's amazing that Harden was on the Brooklyn team when they were like, Harden's not the cancer here.
Yeah.
But Brooklyn has an interesting team. They're gonna they're not obviously as good as they were with Durant. They have an interesting team. They have a lot of young players, a lot of length, like a lot of defense. They actually are kind of a fun team now, even though you kind of want to root against them. I mean, you definitely want to root against them, but
yeah, I mean, if that was the Knicks team, I'd still be pretty happy with that team. I would be really upset how they got there. But
yes, how you got there matters.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Andrew's asking, how about Embiid if Harden drives Embiid insane?
I don't see them trading. They'll just trade Harden.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations. It's not like Kobe and Shaq where they traded Shaq. They're keeping Embiid. Harden just leaves. Like Jokic, no matter who complains in Denver, Jokic stay. They're going to keep Jokic. there are certain players that's just not going to be traded.
Yeah.
I don't see like it's not like Golden State's like, fine, we're going to blow it up. We're going to trade you Steph Curry.
Yeah, I think you got to look at teams that will blow it up if they have a disappointing season.
I still say the Lakers would be smart to trade LeBron, and I still think if you traded for if you add LeBron to this team, we are going to the finals.
No, they just reloaded. They're definitely not trading him now.
They're not trading him. Yeah, they're not trading. And I don't think he really wanted to leave. I think he just wants a better team. We'll see how much better they are, but they made some interesting moves.
Must be really fun to be a LeBron teammate. Every year, all seasons, like, I need more help. I need better players, and you're like, what the hell?
Trae Young may be available, but that would be I really don't think Atlanta's actually going to trade him, and I don't want him.
Siakam?
I would not. Siakam.
Toronto might blow it up.
I don't think they're going to, because they were talks they were going to do it in the before the deadline. They took no one's offers. I don't think they're going to. I think they have a.
They traded for Pirtle.
They improved the team.
Yeah, but they're 10th right now. Like, if they miss the playoffs,
I don't think they're blowing it up. I think they consider themselves good enough that it's worth keeping this team together. They would have made a trade at the deadline if they were going to blow it up. The thing is, with now that 10 teams make the playoffs, it's easier to justify not blowing it up.
It depends what your aspirations are. If your aspirations are playoffs, yeah, but if you think like we're just not going to get there, like Utah, where they're like, yeah, we're going to make the playoffs every year, but we're never going to win a championship.
Well, Utah was tanking, and then they got confused. Then Laurie Markkanen like, I'm actually an all-star, and they're like, guess we're not going to tank. Then they decided to tank again.
They got worse after the trade deadline.
They got rid of Conley. I don't think they're that terrible. They're not good enough to be really. They're not going to just. They're still going to have a bunch of wins. It's going to frustrate their ability to draft. But also, the draft odds being more flat also kind of kills tanking. I mean, how many teams are really tanking this year? San Antonio, Charlotte, I guess. Who else?
I think Charlotte's just bad. I don't even think they intended to tank.
Yeah.
I think teams that are actually tanking are San Antonio and maybe Houston.
Yeah. I don't know if Houston's tanking or just
sucks, yeah. Because I think
we have
Detroit
a bunch of young guys that we're hoping
bad.
so they figure shit out.
Yeah, Detroit and Charlotte are just naturally bad. San Antonio is the only one that seems like they're clearly tanking.
OKC is like, I guess we can't tank anymore.
Yeah.
The roster's just too good to tank. And next year they're going to be really interesting because they're still going to add a top 10 pick.
And
plus they're going to get back
Chet,
what's his name?
Yeah, Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, they should have a really interesting team. Okay, so RJ, do you think RJ, if he accepts being more of a role player, can end up being a helpful player that can get back to playing average to above average defense? And like RJ, he can be at times really great at driving to the basket. It can be hard to stop him. Sometimes he hits his threes. He has periods of time where he actually looks pretty good.
I'm not saying like he can't. I've definitely.
You are saying that, Jack.
Well, no, I've lost the expectations that he's going to be a star.
I find it. I don't see him being an all-star anytime soon. I think it's really hard to believe he's going to be an all-star anytime soon.
I think he's a borderline starter at this point.
I think if you had to say if you had to do your Knicks rankings, your player rankings, let's do them right now. Let's just see where we put RJ. So who do you put first right now? Brunson or Randall?
It's really close. Are you talking about who's better or who's more important to the team?
I mean, this is the Knicks player ranking. Who's
rankings.
More important to the teams? Yeah. How do you want to do it?
Okay, I would say Brunson won.
Okay, I put Brunson. Yeah, Randall's having a great year. Brunson's been so awesome. I'd put Brunson first, but Randall second.
It's really like 1 and 1A. Like it's so close.
Yeah, I just God damn Grimes. You guys just got fouled. But Grimes, I wish Grimes would. The thing with Grimes is he played like 30 games last year, 40 games last year. He was injured part of the year. I guess this is his first full season, and I feel like he's taking a bit of a rookie wall, maybe a sophomore wall.
Right.
But I Anyway, okay, so number 3. Who's number 3?
It actually gets pretty hard, like almost immediately. I would say probably quickly.
I was going to say quickly. I have to say, I posted I posted on Twitter and Facebook today. Which current Nick, do you feel like you were most wrong about in either direction? And I may have to say quickly. I've given quickly so much shit the last 2 years. I didn't think I felt like Six made stupid shots. I thought he was like overrated.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 to 3 months, he has stepped up his game. He's been such a good role player in this team. I love his defense. I love his effort. I put him number 3 right now. I love everything quickly brings right now.
Yeah.
Okay, who's 4?
Probably Grimes. He's been in a big shooting slump, but his defense is so good. It kind of makes it not okay, but
I don't know. Grimes' defense has been good, but his offense hasn't been great. I wonder if Hart is number 4 right now.
I didn't want to go that high just because it's been a 1.5 games. But
He's been 1.5 games, but actually, sorry, he's not number 4. The number 4 would be a guy that's injured right now, but Mitch.
Yeah, I went a little lower just because he's injured, but
I mean, he's been very good this year. He has the best plus minus on the team. Clearly, he makes a pretty big difference in this team. I'm going to put Mitch 4, and I'll put Hart 5.
And
I guess I'm going on maybe the importance of the team right now.
and then Grimes 6. Yeah.
Grimes 6. I Hart 7.
Yeah, I Hart 7.
Oh, yeah. And then RJ 8.
Yeah.
Is it crazy to put I Hart over RJ?
He's been playing better for weeks now.
I mean, iHeart's been playing real. People wanted to throw away iHeart. They were like 20 games of the season. They're like, he sucks. Let's trade him. Let's trade him now. First of all, it's crazy to just throw away your center depth, especially when your starting center gets injured a lot. And now that Hart's been playing a lot, he's not as good as Mitch, but he's clearly better than Sims, and he's clearly a pretty helpful player in this team.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then you round out the 9-man rotation with Toppin.
Yes, Toppin's ahead of guys that aren't playing, and Toppin's better than Sims. Though Sims has been looking a little better lately, also.
Yeah, Sims shows flashes, but I see why he doesn't get a lot of minutes, and he'll probably be out of the rotation when Mitch comes back.
He's clearly going to be out of the rotation. He's played 20 minutes tonight. He's still getting a decent amount of minutes, but there's some nights where his rebounding looks really good. He's a project. He's a guy that you want on the team next year and the year after. He'll keep getting better, but he's not quite good enough to be your number 2 center.
Right. It's good that he's getting this extended run while Mitch is injured, but I'll be more than happy if the lineup has Mitch with iHeart coming off the bench.
Okay, let's go to our questions real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Los Dude writes on Instagram, who is your closest teams, or players you are fans of when the Knicks are not contending in the playoffs?
Teams or players?
Okay, who would you want to, if you're not watching the Knicks, you're watching other teams, who would you most want to watch? What player, then what team? They can be different.
I'm going to go both with Denver.
Okay.
Jokic is just ridiculous. He's fun to watch, and I know they're in first, but I like rooting for a team that hasn't won in a long time. So I feel like even though they're the number 1 seed, they're still kind of underdogs. They haven't won in my lifetime.
Yeah, Denver's really fun to watch. I was gonna say, as far as players, Steph and Ja, both guys that Ja just does crazy things on the court, and Steph is just so. When Steph is on, he's so. It's fun to watch how he breaks other teams with his 3-point shooting.
Yeah, Steph's fun. I think it would be fun to root for the Kings again.
But I agree, Jokic is just he makes that team a lot of fun.
I always have 1 or 2 West Coast teams that I root for in the playoffs. Even when the Knicks are in, I just like having another team to root for. And I haven't rooted for the Kings since they had Weber, Divac, Christie, and Stojakovic. So
I'm still not rooting for the Kings, but
I think they got a fun team this year.
And Sarah writes, Sarah Hewood writes, hello, I'm Sarah. I'm putting my tickets for the Knicks-Nets game, Monday night's game, Section 121, row 22. Unfortunately, my family won't be available for the game anymore. Anyone interested in going to the game that's going on right now, let us know.
So you can find that comment at NY Knicks podcast on Instagram if you want to message her about the tickets.
Keith writes, how much is Hart going to push back Grimes' development? Is Hart one and done?
I don't think Hart's one and done, and I think Grimes is still going to get plenty of minutes, and it's just Hart's better. So we're not in like let's develop guys like indefinitely at this point. Like it's playoff time.
Grimes is going to play over 20 minutes a game. He's still starting. He's still going to have opportunities. His defense is really good. I think the development will be there. I'm not concerned about it at all. So anyone listening to our show who's big enough Knicks fan to watch their show saw Jalen Brunson, the video of him reacting to when they got Josh Hart. He was so happy. The two were teammates at Villanova. Clearly, Hart wants to be here to play with Brunson, the CAA connection, all that stuff. It'd be shocking if the Knicks don't make him a decent offer and he stays.
I mean, that's definitely the plan.
Yeah, he's also he's a guy that's moved around a bunch. I feel like he probably wants to be on one team for a while, especially playing with his buddy Brunson. And he also played with Randall in LA for a short while.
And it's a CAA guy. The Knicks are just going to have a whole team of CAA guys.
I mean, I have to say,
joked
like,
about
on the one,
that 3 years ago, but it's actually happening.
I hate the CAA, that thing where you have to only take guys from CAA, but I do love Brunson. I love Hart right now, so I'm not killing me. And Josh replied, I think it's more of a case of making RJ redundant. Can see them pushing all the chips in the summer for a star swing. I could definitely see RJ being involved in a star trade. Christian writes, which star player you guys think is going to be available for trade this offseason, and who is your guys' preference? Who else might be available besides I said LaMelo? Are there other players that I should be thinking of?
And do you consider Kuzma a star? Because I think Chicago blows it up. If
Kuzma?
Nice.
Chicago?
Yeah, he's putting up 20-something points a game.
You mean Washington?
Washington, sorry.
Yeah. I don't think Kuzma's a fit on this team. I don't think it would make a lot of sense. He's not an elite scorer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he fits that well with his team. Are you trading a bunch of first-round picks to get Kuzma?
No. Do you think the Clippers might blow it up if they fall on their face?
I heard there's a rumor that Paul George was trying to recruit Westbrook there when he gets bought out.
Yeah, I saw that rumor. On
If
paper, they look so good, but they're just not winning that much.
If the Bulls blow it up, I wouldn't mind DeRozan. I know he's not a star, but the dude makes shots. I feel like that'd be an interesting guy to add.
So the Clippers, we didn't talk anything about the trade deadline, but they added Bones Highland, Eric Gordon, and Mason Plumlee to a lineup that already had Mann, Powell, George, Leonard, Morris, and Zubac. That's a lot of addition without much subtraction.
Yeah. I mean, Bones Highland also must be really awesome to play with because Denver is like, we've had 2 years of him. We'll take two second-round picks for him. Just get him out of here.
I couldn't believe how cheap he went. I saw I dropped him in fantasy and I saw his minutes going down. He was getting like DNPs or like 7 minutes. Like he was playing like 35 minutes to start the season.
He was playing a lot. Apparently he's not that much fun to play with. Apparently he's the one guy that doesn't play well with Jokic.
Yeah.
It's hard to see. Whilst the Clippers are the 6th seed right now, I think they're not going to want to blow this up. You still have Kawhi. You still have Paul George. Also, if you get Kawhi, great. He'll play 40 games for us.
Yeah, no, I probably wouldn't want George or Kawhi. I would want one of the...
I would trade for Kawhi. I mean, I'd be very happy to trade for either one of those players. I just don't think I don't think they're blowing it up.
We'll see. There's always a team that freaks out if they lose in the first round of the playoffs and does something like a panic trade.
I think Chicago's the team that's going to blow it. That's why Zach LaVine would be a guy that's available, but I don't necessarily want Zach LaVine. Maybe the Hawks. What about DeJounte Murray? Gets traded 2 summers in a row?
I would do that.
He's not like push your chips into the center, but like he would make the team a lot better.
Andrew said Doncic after Irving weirds him out.
Yeah, I almost feel like you might want to just wait a little bit to see how if Kyrie can get Doncic to ask for a trade,
Right.
and then I'm unloading everything to get him.
Yeah.
Hey, would you rather have Doncic or Tatum?
Doncic.
It's pretty close. I somehow this came with a conversation with someone the other day. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, you would definitely take no question over Tatum.
I mean, I'd be happy with either one. I just think Doncic is like a generational talent. Tatum's like a perennial all-star and really, really good. I just think Doncic's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. Tristan writes, "Why do we still have D Rose and Evan on the team? Shouldn't they have been traded at the deadline? What do they bring to the team not playing?"
Well, Rose has been playing a mentor role. He's coaching. He's basically like a player coach at this point, and everyone seems to like having him around.
I'll give you something else they bring to the team. They are contracts that can be traded in a star trade. If you want to make a star trade, you need contracts to match up. And if you don't, you can't assume the next team is going to take RJ if you want to include RJ.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to include RJ or they do not want RJ, you need other contracts. Like Fournier and Rose's contract are just like they're contracts that are over the cap anyway. If you could trade $35 million of contracts, if you want to trade for a star player, you need these. You need those. You need that.
Right, because some of these stars are making $40-50 million a year now. So, like, if you don't have anybody making that you want to trade with, you throw in Fournier. It's an extra $17 million that can help you get up there.
Right. If you don't have Fournier and Rose on the team, and you want to trade for a star, and they don't want RJ, it's really hard to get there. You might
without like breaking up Randall or Brunson. Yeah.
Right. And I know there's half the fan base might just trade Randall, which is insane. But you have to have contracts that can match up. If you don't have them, because the Knicks are not going to be under the cap anytime soon. So it doesn't matter if they're paying these guys and they're not playing. It doesn't matter from a cap standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Evan can fill in every once in a while. I mean, it feels like Rose should be on another team just so he can play elsewhere. But
I think they'll both be on another team next year. I think, like I said, I
agree.
think the plan is to make a big move this summer. I don't expect either of them to be on the team next year.
But moving either one of them you would have to match up with like another contract that was expiring and getting just like a second round pick for a guy when you're like, if we want to trade for a star, we need these guys here just for the trade. So, AL writes, what would your ideal move for RJ in the summer? Keep him or trade him while he still has some value? His value seems to have already taken a big hit since the start of the season. What would we even get for him at this point?
What did we get for who?
RJ. The person you hate the most in life, Jay.
I know. Every time I hear his name, I just like black out for a minute.
I really don't think he's that bad. I just think he's
just had a 4-year slump. That's all.
Yes. So year 5, he's going to break out. I think he's a hard enough worker. He's having a bad year. I know he's had a bad 4 years, whatever. I do think he can contribute going forward.
Okay.
I think there's a role for him. I think he can play. I think he probably should play more with the bench.
He's having a massive.
Doesn't have to be like doesn't have to be switching to the bench. He can like just end up playing more with the bench.
Massive
the rotation
game today, just huge.
What did you say?
Massive game today.
What is he doing today? What's his stats?
Well, he started off 0-5 at the half. Now he's 2 for 7 with 4 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists, 4 fouls.
See, he's contributing everywhere, including fouls. He's got to figure out how to play better with this team.
Him and Sims are the only negatives on the team, plus minus, both minus.
Yeah, he's got to figure out how to play better with the team. I don't know. He's got to figure out how to like focus more on defense, get rebounds. There was a play in the Jazz game where Obi was standing under the basket by himself, and Obi basically just started stomping on the ground, throwing a fit because he was so frustrated that RJ didn't pass the ball to him.
Hart was even pointing to Obi.
In fairness, RJ is like, I only have tunnel vision. Sorry, I don't. Unless I was planning on passing the entire time, I just don't pass.
It's true.
He's just. You remember when he got here? People were like, RJ. There was like we needed a point guard. People were like, maybe RJ could be our point guard.
Yeah, yeah.
No one has more no one has greater tunnel vision than RJ at times.
Yeah, Andrew's right. He said that was the first time I've ever seen Obi get pissed.
Yeah, Obi was really pissed, and it was funny also because like all of the Obi stands are also people who are also like RJ stands. So you're like it wasn't Randall or Brunson or anyone else not passing him. It was the other guy you guys like salivate over.
Yeah.
Josh writes, is there one team KD has played for that would retire his jersey? It says a lot about player empowerment that a top 20 all-time player may not have a jersey in the rafters.
I could see OKC. He was there for what, like 8 years? He got him to a finals.
Yeah, I think OKC would. I actually would be surprised if they do not. Golden State will not. That makes no sense, right?
He wasn't there long enough. I know that he won 2 championships, but he was only there for, 3-4 years?
I hope the Nets
even,
do,
right?
so it'll just be the funniest thing ever.
He wasn't even there 4 years, was he?
Golden State?
Yeah.
I thought he was 3 years, maybe.
He was in 3 years.
Yeah.
You can't stay on a team for 3 years and get your jersey retired.
No.
So he was on OKC for 9 seasons.
And my understanding he's going to only be on Suns for 1 season, so maybe this next team.
And he won 4 scoring championships in those 9 seasons in OKC.
No, he's pretty goddamn. By the way, Knicks are up by 12 points now.
Yep.
And Obi had a dunk. It was pretty nice.
So if they could hold out for 11 more minutes, their 10-game losing streak against the Nets comes to an end. And they're
all it took was the Nets to empty their roster of star players, and the Knicks could beat them.
And their 11-game losing streak against Ben Simmons.
Also, the Knicks are up by 10 points in the start of the fourth quarter, so that's not safe. Nothing I'm less confident about than the Knicks holding a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Who's your closing lineup now?
Brunson, Randall, Hart,
or Mitch if he's healthy.
when he comes back. And then the fifth, I guess you either go with.
Wait, we have 3 so far.
No, I said Brunson, Randall, Hart, Mitch.
Oh, you said Hart. Okay.
And then whoever's having a better game between Quickly and RJ.
Okay. Not Grimes.
I think Hart took Grimes' spot.
I mean, having Hart and Grimes out there together is pretty nice defense.
Yeah, I mean, you could go all defense, but
I mean, you could do a lot of things. Like the starting lineup could really be. I mean, Hart and Grimes out there really spaces the floor so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I think IQ instead of Grimes. Grimes is not shooting that great lately, so I'd say IQ and Hart. I can't believe how I want my mixed emotions in Hart going from like being like, how could they trade a first round pick to being like, I kind of love Hart. Maybe he might be my second favorite player.
Right.
I have to say I had the net game on earlier. I have it on the background now, but I was watching the first quarter. I'm like, when are they gonna bring in Hart? When are they gonna bring in Hart? When are they gonna bring in Hart? But what are the chances that Hart would be the second best Hart on the team? They have 2 guys. Like, it's just funny name. Like, we have 2 guys named Hart. The Nets have 2 guys named Cam.
Right.
Josh also writes another question. The Knicks are playing the Wizards for the 8th seed in the play-in tournament. Would you rather lose and get picks 14 and 15 or win and get neither? So basically, if the Wizards make the playoffs, the Knicks get their pick. If the Knicks miss the playoffs, they get their own pick. So you're playing for the play-in seed. You win, you win the play-in, but you lose, you get the 14th and 15th pick in the draft, plus the Dallas pick.
Oh, damn.
There's no real losing there, it seems like.
Yeah, that's tough. But then, like, do you want to win, not get the picks, and then just get blasted by Boston?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to lose in the first round if you're in the play-in anyway.
I'd probably take the picks. I'd be pissed off, but I'd probably take the picks.
I don't know. I mean, you could play a tough series in the first. I know the how the gang playoff experience, how important is it? But I think for a young team that you're actually really building a core, it's nice to get playoff experience, especially if they play hard. They don't just get swept.
Right.
I mean, in fairness, I guess it didn't help Orlando. But when Shaq went to the finals, I guess it's the finals also against Hakeem and got swept in the finals, it helped Shaq actually. Shaq was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna fucking tear. I'm gonna play as hard as possible. Go like next time I get to the finals. I'm not gonna get embarrassed like that again. So maybe like even if Knicks got swept, some of the young guys would be like, we're not gonna get embarrassed like this again next year.
Yeah. You know what? Right now, it looks like the Knicks could get into that 6th seed, which would put them against Philly, who they play really well against.
They were 2-2. Are they really? So of the matchups, I don't want to play the Bucks, but I think I'm comfortable at least playing everyone else.
In Boston, too?
Yeah. I mean, the Knicks play Boston hard. You don't think they do?
I do. I just, in the playoffs, I don't think they have enough. I'd rather play Philly. Me, Cleveland, I think they could play tough against. I think the whole Donovan narrative is going to be so annoying that I'd rather play Philly than Cleveland.
I think they're all tough matchups. I think Milwaukee would be the toughest for them to beat, but I think the other ones, I don't think they're beating Boston or Philly or really the Cavs, but I think they play a tough matchup against those guys.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks might beat us in 4 or maybe 5. I don't know. I think the Bucks would be the hardest one if they see the Knicks really actually winning.
Yeah. All right. NY Knicks podcast at Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, Twitter. The New York Knicks podcast.com is our website. Our other show is called The Brink of Sanity. It's a comedy podcast. You can check that out. brinkofsanityshow.com. Just did our 393rd episode, I think.
Jay, who's your favorite Knick right now?
Probably Brunson.
Yeah. Who's been here for a year? Who's your second favorite Knick? I don't know if this is going to be the exact same thing as the ranking, but who's your second favorite Knick?
I'd say Randall.
Yeah. I mean, Randall's hard to, I love it. He plays so well. I mean, it's he's, I know I was out on him last year, but he's been so great. Who's your third favorite?
It's probably already Hart.
That's what I was getting at. I've been loving Grimes. I probably would have put Grimes third. I really like Grimes a lot. I think he's really going to develop and be a very good player. Hart's been really fun so far.
So one player on the Knicks has played 23 minutes. He's 2 for 8 with 4 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists. The other guy has played 20 minutes, 7 for 10, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist.
Can you believe a couple shows ago, fans they were losing their goddamn mind because RJ didn't finish a game and IQ finished it instead. And now it seems like the fan base is like, he sucks.
Well,
there's so much RJ hate going on right now.
I mean, it's kind of justified. It's more justified than the Randall hate.
Yeah, I mean, there's still people being like, okay, Randall's value is really high. Let's see if we can trade him. And they're like, why? Why would you want to trade him? He's at least our second best player. Like, what are you doing?
Look, if you trade Randall, then you could get a draft pick who might maybe someday be as good as Randall.
Someone was posting highlights of Obi in college, and he looked awesome at Dayton. And they're like, it's just a shame what the Knicks did to him. So many guys drafted in the top 10 do not work out. Do you really think it's the Knicks' fault and Obi may end up being better and so forth, but is it the Knicks' fault or is it the players' fault at some point?
I mean, you know who looks good in college? Everybody who got drafted in the NBA.
Yeah, that's a solid point. I mean, he was good, but
there's not one guy
know.
who gets drafted to the NBA that did not look awesome in college. There's just a huge talent gap, and sometimes it doesn't transition over.
Right. He's not been set up to be the great. I mean, in fairness, he was not set up in the perfect situation, being that his minutes have been limited for the whole time. But in some ways, if he was impressing the coach in practice, he'd be getting greater minutes.
Tibbs
if he could play better defense, they'd figure out how to play him more with Randall.
Tibbs has shown that if you do enough, you're going to get. I mean, Grimes wasn't barely playing at all, and now he's starting.
So I'd
same
say
with
forget
IQ. Their minutes have gone up significantly. Tibbs will play you if you show.
By the way, how will the Knicks going to You know what? Actually, I think it would be a star player that might be available, and I think the Knicks should do it. I think it's a chance Portland blows it up. Maybe the Knicks can trade like 3 or 4 picks to get Cam back.
They just keep trading picks to get Cam and then trading picks to get rid of Cam.
He had like 7 points or something in his debut with them, and like the Cam high was going crazy. I wish him all the best in Portland, but the Knicks are never going to really miss not having him.
Yeah, I also don't want to do this every game where like, how many points did Cam get? Like,
it's the same. Like I like Obi also. I think the Knicks should move on from him this summer. I think he'll have like put up some nice minutes with another team. He'll score like 15 points a game, but he'll never be a guy you're like, wow, I really wish the Knicks still had him, because the Knicks should replace him with someone better who's a better fit with the team.
I think he's going to average 10 to 11 points a game.
I think he could average more. I mean, I think he'll average more until a team will be like they're empty points because he's not playing defense.
I don't think he's going to average more just based on he's behind a bunch of guys that are going to play over him.
Yeah, he can go to a team. Depends on where he goes next.
Like, he's not going to play behind. He's not going to play over like Simons and Jerrion Grant. Like,
oh, I was thinking of Obi again. But yeah, you're right. Cam's, well, he started actually Reddish in his first game.
Yeah, but how many minutes did he play?
He played 17.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It is also nice to have like one you for a guy who was like, I need to be the focal point of the team. You're like, or trade me, versus you got another guy who's like, hey, I'm happy to do all the little things.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a nice difference. Okay, the Knicks have 3 games before our next show. I guess the 3 games before the All-Star break, I think it is. Actually, what are they? 2 games before the All-Star break. Never mind. They got Brooklyn and Atlanta. Well, actually, sorry, they're playing Brooklyn right now. They got 1 game before the All-Star game. That's it. They only have 1 more game.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so.
the season started like 2 or 3 weeks earlier than usual. So like, the All-Star break used to be around halfway through the season. The season's like 3/4 over now.
Yeah, so I guess they only have 1 more. The Atlanta game on Wednesday, and then they don't play another game till February 24th. So I guess Atlanta, are they going to win or lose that last game for the before the All-Star break?
Yeah, they're going to beat Brooklyn. They're going to beat Atlanta. Knicks are
They
going to
better beat Brooklyn tonight. They're only up by 8.
Knicks are going to be 33-27.
They're up by 9. Sorry, right now.
They'll be knocking on that 6 seed door, if not have the 6 seed, depending on how Miami does. It'll be good.
So currently on the floor is Brunson, Randall, Hart, IQ, and IQ, Hart, IQ, both Harts, Randall, and Brunson. I feel like this might be the lineup that's on the floor the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good lineup.
No, it's a solid lineup. I mean, like, I don't necessarily think you're bringing Knicks are up by 10, but Dinwiddie just got fouled. So how many fouls does Hart have right now?
3.
3, okay. By the way, does RJ have 5 fouls?
Yep.
Is he really? You think this like broke RJ when Hart got here?
Yeah, because he
This is
was
the
playing
last
so
straw of
good
him
before.
playing well?
He was playing so good before that. The trade broke him.
Can I know RJ got a shot doctor that fixed him like when he has the flu or the stomach virus. Can his shot doctor do CPR?
It is what it is. I mean, they got
Okay.
they got Hart now, so like if RJ continues to suck, at least they have somebody to fill that spot. It would be great if RJ got out of the slump, and it would be great if he started playing good again. I've lost faith. Hopefully, he proves me wrong.
This is the most out that the most out the fan base has been, but it's also because like guys are just playing. Yeah, Hart's playing really well, and you have IQ's been playing a lot better. I think that the good thing here, it really adds competition to the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like you brought in a guy like, hey, this dude, it's not like Josh Hart is playing more because the coach is like giving him preferential treatment. He's like, the coach is like, this guy really hustles and is playing really well. If you want to keep your minutes, you better step up your game.
Yeah, he's 8 for 12 today.
I think they said it was last game was the lowest amount of minutes Grimes has played since like early December, and the lowest amount of minutes that IQ had played basically since like early December.
Well, I think this is actually helping the minutes rotation. There's 6 minutes left in the game, and Brunson has played 33. Everyone else is under 30 minutes. Like, that's a pretty good minute distribution. Right.
I mean, Brunson's minutes are going to be a little high, I guess, today again. But Yeah, everyone else's minutes are going to be like not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, if Randall plays the rest of the way, he'll have 35 minutes. So it's really figuring out a way to the lower. God, oh, Randall's got fouled. If they can figure out a way to take a couple minutes back from Brunson, just so he doesn't get overworked. But I don't know. This team is it's a really fun team right now.
It is. It is.
This is my favorite Knicks team we've had since we've done the show. Flat out. Now that we have Hart, like this is more fun than the 12-13 team. This is the most fun team we've had.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're actually going to get a playoff team, and it looks sustainable. Not like the 12-13 team was fun, but they were so old, you knew it wasn't going to last. Like,
yeah, if you're like, hey, the young guys might get better, pretty solid. The oldest guy in the rotation is 28. Not bad. Okay, I think we're kind of done for the day.
Yep. All right. So thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for joining the chat, Andrew and Kelvin. And we'll be back soon. We'll be doing another episode of our comedy podcast, The Brink of Sanity, soon. So stay tuned for that as well.
Jay, you're gonna do a co-host without me next week? I think I'm out next week.
Oh, right. You're out next week.
Yeah, I'm on vacation. You know, like I got to take a vacation from the show. Jay, you said you gave me PTO from the job, right?
I did. Yeah. So Mark gets PTO. Yeah, I will do some podcasts. I know Mark loves the podcast when he's not on it. So
I really do love listening when Jay gets a co-host. I love listening to it.
I actually like the 1 or 2 episodes I've missed as well. So I'm glad we both love not doing the podcast.
It's my favorite podcast to listen to when I'm not on it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. So I'll line up something for next week.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back soon.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away.
I'm gonna leave you.
It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone.
Feels so good to say goodbye.
I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right.
Brunson just had a nice alley oop to Hart, to Hart. I think Dinwiddie's about to shoot 3 free throws. Kind of a BS foul. I hate when guys like just run into the player and then like just chuck it up basically and like, okay, I got fouled by 3.
Yeah, I don't even like when players on the Knicks do it. I think it's just cheesy.
Hart's got 4 fouls. Hart does commit a lot of fouls. I mean, it's only been 2 games, but no lack of fouls.
Yeah.
Or actually, I guess they only gave him 2 shots. Maybe they called the foul before the shot, and maybe their Knicks are just in the penalty. Knicks better win tonight.
They'll win.
Yeah. I mean, this really is a very fun team to build. I mean, I don't know how they're winning a title, but like, if you're not going to have a star player, this seems like the right way to build.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Dinwiddie was dribbling. Did you have the game in the background?
No.
Okay. Dinwiddie was dribbling, and Hart just took the ball from him. He was driving to the basket. Hart just grabbed the ball away from him. That was kind of awesome. Hey, I have to say, Hart plays some solid defense. I think they're going to be nice where Hart challenges when Mitch is healthy. Hart might challenge him for some minutes. He's been a lot better as of the last like 15, 20 games. Last 15 games or so.
He has.
How was your weekend?
It's pretty good. Just went to Long Island.
Oh, yeah. Celebrating your, like, seeing your family for the post-holiday holidays.
Yeah, because I wasn't feeling good on Christmas, so.
Did Kat come with you or no?
No. Nope.
Okay. What was I going to say? What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day tomorrow?
I don't know. We're playing it by ear. It depends. Like, I've been working late a lot. I'm not happy about that.
What train have you been taking?
The 6:16.
What do you usually
isn't
take?
too late, but I try and take the 5:35. That extra 45 minutes is like,
That's the difference.
yeah.
What I mean, you guys could also just, I mean, if Kat's not working late on Friday, you guys can celebrate. It'd be easier to celebrate on Friday.
That's what we were thinking, because like every place is so busy and it's kind of annoying. Might just
It also kind of sucks going to any restaurant on Valentine's Day. They're like, oh, here at really literally any restaurant will be like, here's our Valentine's Day special at the Pita Pit.
right, for twice as much money.
Twice as much money for the same shitty food we had yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liz and I stopped doing well, I guess with kids, we especially stopped doing it. We stopped doing it many years ago, like just going out for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We have a tradition of making lobster. Which is kind of fun. It's not like when you buy it in the supermarket, it's not so bad.
Mm-hmm. So Hart's outscoring Randall.
Wow. Is he?
Yep.
Right, Randall's not having the most amazing game. Brunson has been it's crazy that he didn't make the playoffs because he's been so goddamn good as of late.
They really need to put him in.
Jesus Christ. Brunson is 15 for 21, 6 for 9 from 3. I mean, based on this, I'd like him to never make the All-Star game. Because if this is how he's gonna play when he's like pissed off. Holy shit. Wow, Hart has 20 points. When do we start calling them the Villanova Knicks? Do you know who else also play with on Villanova? Who would be a great addition to our team? Mikal Bridges. You know he was on those teams also? Did you realize that?
Yes, I did.
How good would it be if they can get Bridges here also and just like rebuild the Villanova team here? You have to play at Kentucky or Villanova or be CSCAA or be related to the team president.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Or be related to one of our coaches.
People are like saying I'm ridiculous for saying Hart's better than RJ. Like right now.
I mean, really, are you surprised people are giving you shit for that? The guy's been here for less than 2 games, and you're already calling him better than RJ?
He is,
And
though.
it'd be a better argument to say IQ is better.
They're all better. RJ stinks.
He's been shitty. Yeah, he's been pretty shitty.
I mean, like, yeah, here we go with the 20 points. Take 17 shots a game.
Who are you arguing with? I'm not looking on Twitter right now because I have the game on my phone.
I started a war. Alex said something, and I replied that Hart's better. And it's almost 50-50, people supporting me and people supporting Alex.
How many comments are there? Are there that many comments?
There's a lot.
I can't believe this.
There's 66.
Yeah, I guess trashing RJ is really a great way to get people to respond.
There's 66 comments.
Holy shit.
I said RJ has had 4 years to get his act together. Hart is better at literally everything, and I got 33 likes.
It is frustrating, RJ. I mean, RJ's stats, in fairness, I guess you don't count the flu part of it, they don't look quite as bad.
But every season, it's like, well, if you don't count this and if you don't count that, and like,
You know, there's sometimes when he's driving to the basket where he looks really unstoppable going to the basket. When he's on, he's on. But he just does so many stupid things on defense.
Andrew said he loves how aggressive I am on Twitter.
By the way, so my stepbrother texted me during the Jazz game. He's like, oh, you're liking Hart? I'm like, no, I'm actually not even watching the game. Like, he's like, it's your co-host tweeting. He's like, I can't tell which one it is. I'm like, I'm going to turn the game on later.
Sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't. If you see the word, if you see the word "goddamn," it's definitely you tweeting.
If you say what?
Whenever there's the word "goddamn" in a tweet, it's definitely you.
That's probably me.
You do that a lot.
Also, when the tweet is just viciously mean to RJ, it's probably you.
I don't care. He stinks.
Brunson's gonna go for 40 again.
Good.
He's got three shots on the free throw line right now.
My fantasy team is very happy about that.
Oh, you have Brunson. I think I knew that, right? You have Brunson on your team.
Yep. I had a feeling
I mean-
he's gonna have a breakout year.
I mean, he has been so goddamn good.
I got stomped.
Is he a top 10? Is he a top 10 point guard in the NBA right now?
Yeah, I would say so.
I think when we got him, we were like, hey, he's probably like 15th or 16th. I'm not sure there are 10 that are better than him right now. I really don't think there are.
If the tweet sniffles, it's Mark.
That's a pretty good one. What was it? Someone posted. They were like, it was something like Brunson's last 25 games and Donovan Mitchell's last 25 games, and Brunson's stats are better. And I'm not saying Brunson's better than Donovan Mitchell, but
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, but he's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
He's 25?
20. I think he's 26.
How old is he? 25 or 26? He might be 26. You might be right. Either way, he's still. I mean, either way, he's got 6 more. He's got like 5 or 6 more years of being this good at the very least.
Yeah.
He's 26. Yeah, you're right.
I saw somebody saying, what is it? Tibbs doesn't play the young guys because of Randall and Brunson. I'm like, they're both in their 20s. Pretty sure that counts.
Also, now we're not supposed to play our all-stars. What the fuck are you like? What do you want?
Only guys 23 or younger. The whole team always. As soon as they turn 24, just trade them.
The Knicks could trade for Kevin Durant, and people would be like, "Great, the young guys don't play because of Kevin Durant."
I mean, Durant's good and all, but what's gonna happen to Obi's minutes?
Yeah, I don't know about getting this Durant guy. I mean, like McBride's not going to get a lot of playing time. Can't we develop our young players? They're probably those same fans who are watching Golden State when the Golden State was winning the titles. They'd be like, "I don't know about this playing Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Draymond Green. Like, can't we like develop like some of these guys on the bench?" I mean, this really should be the next few years of this team, like, should be really interesting.
Yeah. Which is
So
good.
was it a little bit much that I asked that Leon Rose get fired when he traded the draft pick for Josh Hart?
I was surprised when I saw that. Because 2 minutes before that, I wrote, nice move.
The draft pick stuff gets me crazy, but I mean, now that I realize Hart probably will be here, I really just like to overreact before I like think things through.
It was
I
just
mean,
funny.
the idea of a rental seems insane, but like, yeah, I get like he played with Brunson. There's a good chance they'll want to play together. The CAA connection. It's all about connections, I guess. These were the connections I guess they meant when they got Leon Rose. It is crazy how many Knicks players they have now who are drafted late in the draft. Hart's a 30th pick. Brunson's a 2nd round pick. Grimes and IQ are the 25th pick. The only guys that are a top 10 pick on the team are Randall and Obi.
Right? Yeah. And one of those is very
And one of those
questionable.
two is not like the other.
Yeah.
Brunson has 40 fucking points tonight.
Excellent.
And I'm sure if you scroll enough, someone will say Brunson's taking IQ's minutes. It's fucked up.
I've seen Brunson shoots too much. It's like he's 15 of 21. Like, let him shoot.
Yeah. Like you should really go like only 5 assists, Brunson, try harder. So they are up by 19 points with 4 minutes to go. I'm going to say the Knicks are going to win this.
Yeah, I think they just dusted off McBride.
I do not see McBride out there.
I think he's about to come in.
I don't see him waiting to come in either.
Okay.
I mean, they could, but it's the same lineup as they had out before. I want to see how many people are like, I can't believe IQ played over RJ. Oh, there's McBride. Maybe I'm just behind in the telecast. Maybe that's it. I think I'm watching on my phone. Maybe I'm just behind because McBride just came in, and also on ESPN has the Knicks have 117 points, and on the screen I see 115 points.
Gotcha.
Brunson just walked off the court, and he got a standing ovation from everyone. because he's goddamn awesome.
So the Knicks are up by 21, and RJ is on -7.
Yes. Brunson's the plus 23. Hart's a plus 27. Jay Hart is a plus 21. Quickly's a plus 20. Sims is a -6, and RJ's a -7.
RJ went to the locker room at some point.
Oh, did he? Is he injured?
I don't know. Broke his
Where
vagina.
did you see that?
Andrew told me.
Okay.
Well, he's got to get his shit together.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he's got to play better.
I'm just annoyed at just the free pass he gets from everybody on Twitter.
I don't think he gets a free pass from everyone on Twitter. I see a lot of negative RJ stuff now. But the fans just aren't ready to be out on him, and I don't know why you're completely out on him, even though he's been playing like shit lately.
Because how many players suck for 4 years and then all of a sudden you're like, they're awesome?
I don't think he's sucked for 4 years.
Pretty much has. He puts up inflated numbers because he takes a ton of shots. He's an inefficient shooter and he doesn't really do much else.
I just searched RJ Barrett on Twitter. The first post I found was RJ Barrett is the worst basketball player I've ever seen.
Is that me?
No. It is funny that Knicks are up by 25 now. It is crazy. I mean, he's the one guy. I mean, the two guys that basically Leon Rose had to take were basically Randall and he thought Randall was going to be out on, obviously. And RJ, it's crazy how poorly RJ worked out.
Yeah.
And again, he could end up being better, but he's really worked out poorly so far. If you drafted anyone else there, RJ is about to go back to Canada. Let's see what else I got here. Your team paid RJ for $120. RJ heads to the locker room on Monday for unknown issue, then returns to bench. So he returned to the bench. RJ Barrett should lose his starting role to Josh Hart. It's plain obvious who has more heart. RJ is a war criminal, whether he's going to Guantanamo Bay or not. I don't think Twitter is that kind to RJ right now. I hate to break it to you.
No, it's fine. I just, a lot of people were on Alex's side.
RJ's first half shooting last 2 weeks. Lakers 1 for 8. Heat 4 for 11. Clippers 2 for 11. Magic 1 for 7. Sixers 4 for 6 but 3 turnovers. Jazz 1 for 6. Nets 0 for 5. That's some fucking rough stats. I'm kind of thinking that less RJ would equal more wins right now.
So under that tweet that said RJ Barrett headed to the Knicks locker room,
Yeah.
the first comment is RJ Barrett out for remainder of game due to embarrassment. The comments are so one or the other. He scored 20 points against the Jazz. He's a warrior and he'll only get better. And then the very next one says injury report playing like ass.
RJ Barrett averages 20 points. Oh, this one's to us. RJ Barrett averages 20 points a game as a third option. Cut it out. You are a prisoner of the moment.
Like I said, you can average 20 points a game on 17 shots. It's not hard.
I mean, it's tough when Josh Hart really has come in here and really taken your taken your role.
I named the episode "We Love Hart."
Yeah, seriously. I think Fournier's out there. Okay, Obi working it. And Obi missed it at the basket. No pressure at all, and Obi still sucks.
I don't even think I'm gonna watch the slam dunk contest.
So what What night is that? Is that going to be over the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Saturday or Sunday, you think?
Saturday.
Saturday, and then the
Saturday.
All-Star game is Sunday, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because we're leaving our trip on Sunday.
The
So
dunk contest
I'll probably watch.
Dunk contest
Watch
hasn't been
Slam.
good in like 10 years.
What'd you say?
Dunk contest hasn't been good in like 10 years.
Yeah, it's all been lame. The All-Star game kind of sucks. I used to like stuff more when I was a kid.
Ever since they blatantly robbed who was it, Eric Gordon in the dunk contest, it's been all downhill.
Which one was that? Which one did he get robbed?
The one where Zach LaVine did the same dunk like 5 times in a row, and they just kept giving him 50, even though like he basically just tried to jump from the free throw line and dunk it every time.
I hate when they get so many chances also.
Yeah.
Like,
But Eric
I
Gordon
want them
had,
to
like-
have like one, like you get like one, like maybe the best 3 or 4. Like, just stop giving them so many chances. Just take a dunk and that's it.
Eric Gordon had like 2 of the best dunks I've ever seen in my life, and like he didn't win because I don't know.
So Zach has gotten like they have this like kid gambling app, which is probably not a good thing. But he and his friends are doing. It's not betting real money; it's fake money. But they're like trying to compete to like who has the most points. So he's gotten more into like every morning he has to make a bet on like at least 2 games. But it gets him more into basketball, which is cool.
I'll tell you,
I think he bet on the Knicks tonight. But the other night, like he didn't want to go to bed till like he knew whether the Cavs would beat the Bulls. He's like, why can't we watch that game? I'm like, we just don't have NBA TV. I'm sorry, but I didn't really also know you were gonna be obsessed with watching this game. But I was thinking about your whole. I know you're not actually a parent, but your whole parenting philosophy would be hand the kid like a PS4 and that'll watch. They'll do that for hours, and like I could not get Mike Zach likes video games and stuff, but like he would never sit there for hours doing it. Neither of my kids would ever like just sit there playing video games. They would just get bored like that. So if you ever had kids, yeah, I hope your kids are like mine, and they refuse to play video games just to drive you crazy.
Showing them the wrong games.
Apparently,
Aaron Gordon, not Eric Gordon. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was like Eric Gordon, like
Yeah, Aaron Gordon had that dunk. Where
yeah. No, I
were,
remember.
Like,
I just didn't remember Eric Gordon ever being in the dunk
He
contest.
was like sitting in midair. That was like the coolest dunk.
No, Aaron Gordon's got like mad hops. Sim should be pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Surprised that Toppin's not doing it again.
I'm not. It was really bad.
Whatever.
It was like literally the worst dunk contest ever.
Shouldn't they have like a veterans, like a retired player dunk contest? Like, so we get Nate Robinson in it also. Bring back the old guy, see who can still dunk.
Or just like get stars again.
What star is going to really do it though?
I don't know. We went from like Vince Carter and Jordan to like the Knicks.
Yeah,
11th
it
guy.
really was. It used to be really cool. Now, like, what star player would you like to see doing it? That's not. I mean, like, obviously, who you could pick one star player to be in it.
Probably Ja.
I was just gonna say Ja.
Andrew said, "Have kids, Jay. It's fun. Whatever you want them to do, they always want to do the opposite."
No one is less into what you want to do than your kids. Man, Brooklyn's fucking awesome. Okay, so the Knicks are now 32 and 27.
It was like pretty close to through 3 quarters, and then they just blew them away.
As opposed to most games where it's pretty close through 3 quarters and the Knicks like surrender in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
I wonder who the difference maker was in the 4th quarter. Is there someone we switched out? Is it helpful to have the number 3 pick in the draft or Josh Hart? Jesus, Josh Hart was 10 for 14. Villanova won 25 for 35 tonight.
It's nice. All right. I am gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
27 for Hart. That is nice. All right. Thanks for joining, Andrew. I'm shutting the room down.